This steak is way too expensive to ruin. But today, I'm taking the risk. Because I'm going to cook it in a way most people never do. No pan. No boring grill, just charcoal, smoke, and one strange secret that will completely change the flavor of the meat. First, we'll make a spice mix that unlocks the aroma. Then, we'll light the charcoal using a method that looks almost too simple. And after that, I'll put something on the fire that will make this steak smell like a real campfire. And while the meat is slowly reaching the perfect temperature, we'll cook a side dish where bacon does all the dirty work. But watch until the end, because the final cut will show whether this is the best ribeye or the biggest mistake of this video. What's up, guys? Men and meat lovers, do you think today we're going to cook this beautiful piece of meat? Nope, I'm going to eat it raw. Actually, no, I'm kidding. Of course I'm going to cook it. So, what do we have today? Today we have this gorgeous steak. This is a ribeye. Why is it called ribeye? Because this steak often has a piece of fat in the middle that looks like an eye. That's why it's called ribeye, the eye of the steak. Ribeye steaks come in several different types. Right now, we have a steak with a small bone. Another name for it is a cowboy steak. If the bone is longer, then it's called a tomahawk steak. But today, we have a cowboy steak. You've always been cooking steak the wrong way. Today, I'll show you how to cook it over charcoal, so you don't just get fried meat like on a grill pan or in a skillet, but real smoky flavor, that campfire aroma, and a steak that tastes absolutely amazing. So, what exactly is a ribeye? Ribeye is cut from the thick edge of the back, along the spine, between the 6th and 12th ribs. It comes from a part of the animal where the muscles barely work during its life. That's why this steak is so tender, soft, and incredibly tasty. A great piece of meat doesn't need much. Salt, pepper, that's it. But today we're going to use a special mix of spices. We have paprika, salt, black pepper, hot cayenne pepper, and garlic. This will give our beautiful steak even more aroma. 30 minutes before cooking. Season it generously on both sides. Drizzle it with a little oil so all the spices can open up. Gently massage everything in. And in this exact state, we leave our piece of meat for 30 minutes while we light the charcoal. Alright, friends, let's start pouring the charcoal into our barbecue area. Don't be shy with the charcoal. Spread it out in an even layer so we have enough room to light it using our little secret method. Take any piece of paper, tear it off, and with these simple movements, roll it into a small cone. Then stick that cone into the charcoal, just like this. And we do the same thing again. You can make several of these cones. 3, 4, 5. The more paper cones you make, the faster your charcoal will light. So what do we do next? Our main life hack is oil. Pour some oil into each cone and sprinkle a little bit of oil over the charcoal. Now, take a lighter and set our paper cones on fire. While the paper cones are burning, you can go do other things. And what are we going to do? We're going to prepare the potatoes for our steak. Look, we're practically doing nothing. We're not touching the charcoal. With this method, oil and paper cones, the charcoal lights by itself without our help. All we need to do is keep an eye on it and stir it from time to time. Friends, the perfect side dish for steak is potatoes cooked over charcoal. And to make them even tastier, of course, we need to add some bacon. Take this beautiful bacon and cut it into these nice little strips. That's it. Nothing else is needed. Now what do? We take our manly skewer and put on the young potatoes. Just like this. And then the next one. Once you've added one potato, you definitely need to put a piece of bacon between the potatoes. Don't be cheap with it. Like this. The fat will drip onto the potatoes, and the potatoes will turn out incredibly tasty. Watch until the end. There's a very important secret here. Once we put all the potatoes on the skewer, there will be one key step that makes them truly delicious. Really delicious. So friends, once we've put our potatoes and bacon on the skewer, here comes the main secret. We cut into the potatoes all the way down to the metal skewer, making little cuts along the entire length. This is what gives us that effect. When the bacon fat melts and runs over the potatoes, it will flow right into these cuts. And that is going to be insanely delicious. And once we finish the last potato, we turn the skewer over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. When the cuts are done and the potatoes are on the skewer, before we even put the steak on the grill, we start loading the potatoes onto the barbecue. The potatoes need to start cooking already because potatoes take much longer to cook than meat. Alright, friends, we put the potatoes on the grill. Not over the strongest heat, but somewhere over here. Now let's go get the meat. Friends, the biggest secret to a smoky steak, the tastiest steak, is this fat netting right here. Before placing the steak on the grate, we put this fat netting down first. Let it start doing its job. Smoke appears only when fat drips onto the charcoal. This netting is exactly what gives us that smoke. Look at how our fat netting is working. The smoke is coming out, the exact smoke that will flavor our meat. Look how beautiful the potatoes are getting. Don't forget to salt them. And now what do? Of course, we use our meat thermometer to check the temperature. If someone tells you that steak must be cooked for exactly 3 minutes or 2 minutes, don't believe them. Only a thermometer will show the correct temperature. Right now, the steak is at 15 degrees Celsius. We need to bring it up to 57 degrees. That's the perfect medium. That's proper meat. It's not raw meat. Now that the fat is doing its job, we place the steak onto the charcoal. Don't worry, fire is good. Fire is right. Now we wait about 3 minutes until we get a beautiful color, a beautiful crust, and then we'll flip the steak. Alright friends, grab your forks. The steak has been on for about 3 minutes. Let's flip it. Let's see what color we've got. Look at that amazing crust. We keep cooking. The steak is still only at 17 degrees. That's far too low, so we continue cooking the steak. Friends, the main rule is not to miss the moment. The steak is at 40 degrees now. We still need 17 more to reach 57. Fire is very strong, so we flip the steak again. Beautiful crust. And now we move it away from the main heat to a cooler spot. Let it slowly finish cooking. We'll keep checking the temperature. It's already 45 degrees. And now the thermometer tells us that inside the steak we have 57 degrees. Time to take it off and let it rest. We carefully remove the thermometer. And take our steak off the grill to rest. That's it, friends. Now we don't touch it for about 7 minutes. Let it rest. Let all the juices redistribute. We'll have a beautiful medium. Medium is not blood. It's protein. Friends, while our steak is resting, we need to finish cooking our beautiful potatoes with bacon. Now we move over more direct heat and continue cooking them through. This will be the perfect addition to the steak. Friends, the big moment is here. Our steak has rested. Let's see what doneness we got. We cut it right through the middle. Look at that juice. That's just pure juice. Look at this gorgeous meat. Let's cut off a piece. We have to try it. Look at this beautiful medium. Look at these amazing potatoes. They are perfect with steak. Crispy bacon. Put it right here. Take a little bit of potato. I love steak with cola. With fizzy cola. Open our can of Coca-Cola. Pour a little bit. Now it's time. Very exciting. Let's try our steak. This is incredible. Now the potato. Pure pleasure. So good. Now we take the Coca-Cola and enjoy. Oh, that's absolutely insane, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. This channel is all about meat.